Most homes built after 1990 were plumbed with a built-in expiration date. The industry switched from metal to plastic, not because plastic performs better, but because it is cheaper and requires far less skilled labor. The homeowner was never part of that conversation. Today, the Guard declassifies the plumbing whitelist, the only two materials with a lifespan measured in decades. But first, the three retail traps that builders and big box stores sell as modern upgrades, which forensic plumbers know are ticking clocks inside your walls. Water damage is not a nuisance repair. A single slow leak behind drywall running 90 days rots your framing, colonizes your insulation with black mold, and hands you a remediation bill that exceeds the cost of a new car. In the fifth place, the PEX-B crimp connection trap stands as the most clandestine threat hidden behind finished walls. At first glance, these systems promise a modern upgrade, flexible tubing, quick copper crimp rings, and low install costs. But inside every crimped brass fitting, a chemical countdown is underway. In hard water or high chlorine zones, the zinc in the brass leaches away in a process called dezincification, leaving behind a porous copper skeleton that can rupture with zero warning. Field data from the Zern litigation and insurance loss records reveal the median time to leak is just 4.2 years in affected regions, with some failures surfacing as early as year 3. The corrosion is invisible until the joint gives way, releasing water into cavities designed to hide the damage until it is too late. Hard water areas such as the Midwest, Texas, and the Great Lakes see the highest claim rates, but any home with PEX-B and copper crimp rings is at risk. The Guard rule is inspect for a B stamped on the pipe and demand a full repipe or a PEX-A upgrade in negotiations. The Guard loophole is PEX-A expansion, no brass, no zinc, no hidden rot. When the builder pushes PEX-B, ask what is in their own house. The answer tells you everything about asset longevity and about whose interests the code minimums really serve. In the fourth place, CPVC hot water lines reveal the most insidious material aging trap in the modern plumbing blacklist. The Guard's warning is clear. Cream-colored CPVC, especially in homes built after the mid-1990s, carries a hidden expiration date. Unlike connection failures that start at joints, CPVC's risk is baked into the pipe itself. A slow, invisible shift from ductile to glass brittle as chlorine and heat attack the polymer backbone. Accelerated aging studies show a 30% drop in impact energy after just a dozen thermal cycles in chlorinated water. The result is a pipe that can survive for years, then shatter without warning under a routine water hammer spike. Forensic evidence is unmistakable. A clean, glass-like fracture surface, no necking, no warning. Insurance claims for these catastrophic breaks routinely trigger $15,000 to $25,000 in repipe bills, with remediation costs soaring if leaks go undetected inside walls. The Guard rule is simple. If CPVC hot water lines are over 7 years old, especially in high chlorine or high temperature loops, budget now for a full repipe. In negotiations, demand documentation on pipe age and thermal history. Anything less is a gamble with your home's envelope. When the only cue is a cream-colored pipe and the only outcome is a brittle break, the verdict is simple. CPVC is a time bomb, not a legacy system. In third place, the retail lead-free fixture trap exposes the quietest leak in the modern plumbing blacklist: zinc alloy faucet bodies and valves sold at big box stores. The Guard's warning is direct. These fixtures, labeled lead-free since the 2014 code shift, are built light and built to fail. A simple weight test tells the story. Hold a retail faucet in one hand and a supply house forged brass model in the other. The zinc alloy version weighs 380 grams, while forged brass from Watts, Legend, Nibco, or Apollo weighs nearly double at 650 grams. That missing metal is not just cost savings. It is lost corrosion resistance, lost strength, and a fast track to internal rot. Warranty claim data and contractor loss reports put the average failure window at 3 to 5 years right after the builder's liability ends and just as the fixtures start to pit, leak, or snap at the threads. The corrosion is insidious. Zinc and aluminum alloys sacrifice themselves in damp, chlorinated environments, leaving a powdery white residue and a hollowed-out shell. The guard rule is simple. On every walkthrough, demand the supply house invoice. If the fixture feels light in your hand, or if the box does not list forged brass, walk away or budget for an immediate upgrade. In negotiations, ask the builder which fixtures they installed in their own home, and watch for hesitation. The difference between a buy-it-for-life system and a disposable one is often measured in grams, not inches. The verdict is clear. Only forged brass supply house fixtures belong on the whitelist. Everything else is a short-term liability hiding in plain sight. In second place, Type L copper stands as the guard's first true whitelist material, a supply line built for generational service, not a disposable product cycle. The verdict is clear. Type L, with its 0.7 millimeter wall thickness in half-inch pipe, outclasses the code minimum Type M by a full 40% in copper mass. This is not just a spec sheet detail. It is the difference between a supply system that weathers 70 to 90 years in the field and one that starts pitting or leaking before the mortgage is paid off. Master plumbers know the mark. Look for the blue L stamp along the pipe. Anything less is a downgrade, no matter what the builder claims. Pressure testing confirms the advantage. Type L is rated to 400 pounds per square inch cold, double the burst margin of Type M, and far above any demand your home will ever see. In real-world surveys, pinhole leaks and corrosion are rare, usually limited to localized chemical aggression or decades of neglected water chemistry. When failures do occur, they are predictable, visible, and repairable. No hidden rot, no catastrophic blowouts. Inspectors and resale agents flag Type L as a premium Q, often noting in reports that homes with L-grade copper command higher offers and fewer buyer objections. The logic is simple. Buyers trust a system built to last as long as the house itself. The guard rule is non-negotiable. Demand. Type L copper in every supply specification and require the mark on every exposed run before closing out a job. If a contractor pushes Type M to save a few dollars per stick or dodges the question with generic copper language, you are being sold a liability, not an asset. As one master plumber put it, I only put Type L in my own house. Anything else is a callback waiting to happen. In negotiations, use the contract language, all domestic water supply piping, to be Type L copper, verified by visible manufacturer stamp at rough inspection. This single line moves your project from the blacklist to the whitelist and signals to every tradesman, inspector, and future buyer that the home is built for the century, not the decade. And finally, in first place, hubless cast iron stands as the guard's ultimate whitelist drainage material, a system engineered for silence and permanence and for total fire safety. This is not a relic of old construction, but the gold standard for any home built to last a century. The evidence is overwhelming. Laboratory acoustic tests measuring 2 kHz drain noise show a 40% reduction in sound pressure level compared to PVC, transforming the jarring echo of plastic pipe into a subdued, low-frequency thud that disappears behind the walls. For multi-story homes, the difference is not subtle. It is the line between a midnight flush that wakes the house and one that passes unnoticed. The secret is mass and joint design. Hubless cast iron uses a solid wall around 11 millimeters thick in 3-inch pipe, paired with neoprene gaskets and stainless steel clamps that seal every connection. This assembly, mandated by ASTM 888 and CISPAF 301, creates a vibration-damping backbone that refuses to sag, warp, or resonate even after decades of use. Unlike PVC, which can belly and trap solids after years of thermal cycling, cast iron holds its line true, keeping blockages and callbacks at bay. Field surveys by municipal utilities confirm an 80 to 100-year service life, with installations from the 1930s still running leak-free today. No other drainage material matches this record. PVC and ABS are budget options designed for 30 years, not a lifetime. Fire safety is non-negotiable. When exposed to flame, PVC decomposes into hydrogen chloride gas, filling the home with toxic smoke and corroding metal fasteners. Cast iron, by contrast, is non-combustible and maintains structural integrity up to 1,200 degrees Fahrenheit. This is why high-rise codes and institutional specifications still demand cast iron for all vertical stacks and critical runs. It is not just a matter of code, it is a matter of occupant safety and asset preservation. The guard rule is clear. Specify hubless cast iron for every main drain with neoprene sleeves and stainless steel clamps at every joint. Insist on visible ASTM 888 markings and require inspection of all connections before closing up the walls. When a contractor proposes PVC to cut costs, ask what they installed in their own home and watch for the answer that never comes. The verdict is simple. Cast iron is the final guardrail for a permanent plumbing system. In negotiations, use the language, all sanitary drainage piping to be hubless cast iron, joined with neoprene gaskets and stainless steel clamps, verified by ASTM 888, stamp at rough-in. With Type L copper on supply and hubless cast iron on waste, the home is no longer a disposable product. It is a legacy asset, engineered for silence, safety, and a service life that outlasts the mortgage, the builder, and the next 3 generations of owners. Across all entries, one pattern is clear. Code minimums build in obsolescence, but the guard whitelist exposes what endures. Plumbing is not a commodity. It is a century-scale asset or a silent liability. Ask your contractor what material they would stake their own home on and then demand nothing less. Guard closed.